Hello and welcome to Rev Sports. I'm Gargi Raut, and joining me today is Shomik Chakraborty and Bharat Ramraj. Well, it's lunch break. First session of day 3 is done between India and New Zealand. India need 278 runs to win and are already 1 wicket down. Shomik, Bharat, we lost Rohit Sharma early once again in this test match, and we've seen that happening for the past few test matches as well. Is this a concern at this point? Mute. You're on mute.
See, absolutely, it's a concern. Rohit Sharma's indifferent form has been hurting India. As it's not about just as a leader, you have to lead from the front, stuff like that. Rohit is one of the team's premier batsmen, and he is a very good player. Now, when you chasing such a steep target in the fourth innings, the first thing you need is a big opening partnership. Whenever India have chased down a big fourth innings total, be it in Port of Spain in 1976, in 1979 Oval, they went very close. They met 433, 432, and fell short by just 9 runs. So there have always been big opening partnerships. Sunil Gavaskar in those associations led the way. In 2008, when India chased down 387 against England, then there was a big opening partnership between Viru and Gautam Gambhir. So, in that case, and I mean, it's those fancy names like selfless cricket, stuff like that. That sounds good on paper, but in the middle, you have to deliver, and Rohit has been failing. Simple as that.
Bharat, are you
Bharat,
concerned about it?
are you concerned about it at this point?
Yeah, see, one point about Rohit Sharma is he's not getting any younger. As you get older, obviously, your reflexes slow down a little bit. That is something you have to consider with Rohit Sharma, with Virat Kohli. They're not anymore 25. They're 35, 36, around that age, 37. So it's going to be difficult for Rohit Sharma as the years go on. Maybe some are fitter than others. If you're fitter than others, maybe your reflexes don't slow down, or your body won't slow down as you get older. At least you can continue for a little while longer. So that is, I think, Rohit Sharma's biggest obstacle. His body has slowed down, his reflexes have slowed down. So just to find ways to score runs, because obviously a big series is coming up in Australia, and they're going to attack. Australians always attack the captain. They always do that. They want to keep the captain of the opponent down. So that's going to be a big series and a big challenge for Rohit Sharma. And from India's point of view, hopefully he will get some runs at least in the series in Australia, and at least in the third test before going to that two down under.
We have a comment here from Sports Fan, and this is exactly what I was going to ask next. He's saying we are scoring around 7 and over. Is it the right approach here? Shomik, Bharat, do you think we need a more, let's say, a cautious approach than this? We're seeing Jaiswal bat, 36 balls, 46 already. And do you want this to happen and possibly have a collapse in the next session? Something. What do you think about the approach?
What do you think about the
Gagi, this is the only way they can approach the target. These batsmen don't have the defensive technique of Rahul Dravid, right? Or Sachin Tendulkar, Sunil Gavaskar, or Gautam Gambhir against spin, or Gautam Gambhir against spin. So this is the only way to go. This is the only way to go, because if you cannot trust your defense, then, and also on this kind of pitches, what happens? I mean, every now and then there will be a delivery with your name on it. So when you cannot trust your defense, when you are not as defensively equipped as some of the greats of the game, or maybe our Pujara, then this is the only way to go, to put the pressure back on the opposition. So I think they will play that way. They will play that way only, and I mean there is no alternative. If they can go on and pull off a miracle, that would be exhilarating. But still, it's I mean New Zealand's game to lose.
Bharat, how optimistic
Bharat,
are you
how
about
optimistic are you about?
an echo
Sorry,
there?
can
Yeah,
you,
yeah.
can you come again? There's an
How
echo.
optimistic are you about India's chances of winning this match and the approach that the Indian batters are taking on right now?
Yeah, see, this in this DRS era, it's become much more difficult to defend. So, from modern day batting perspective, the way guys like Jaiswal, Sarfraz, they play, I think it's better for them to attack, and it is also disrupted the spinners' length to an extent, New Zealand spinners' length to an extent. The key is to change gears now. Yeah, India have got a great start. Jaiswal has got a great start. He is a fantastic player of spin. He picks the length really well. Unlike some other sloggers, this guy is not a slogger. He's a fantastic player of spin. Just he needs to perhaps tinker his gears a little bit because they have got a fantastic start India, and now maybe he can change his gear a little bit and slow down a little bit and try to pace his innings and help India to score of around 150, 160 for one. Then New Zealand definitely will start to panic. So I think that's the only point I would say with Jaiswal, that he needs slightly different gears. There's no problem going aggressive because his nature, his template is built on playing aggressively against spin, and he's not a slogger. He's a fantastic player of spin, but just a little bit of change in gears. Once you get that great start, it might help Jaiswal to become even better against spin bowling.
Yeah. Some
Yeah.
comments here that I
Some
want to
comments
make.
here
Gargi,
that I want to make.
Gargi, just one thing that we started off with Rohit and Rohit's batting, right? In this series so far, I'm just moving a bit. In this series so far, Tom Latham has cooled Rohit Sharma as far as captaincy is concerned, both in the first test and this one. In the first test, when that partnership was building between Rachin Ravindra and Team Saudi in the first innings, Rohit's captaincy was very ordinary. He was not proactive. He didn't bring Bumrah back into the attack. Then this match, when after losing the toss in the first session of the first day, he was way too defensive. He was not trying to make things happen. And finally, yesterday, after conceding a big first innings lead, it was inexplicable that he didn't start off with Jasprit Bumrah when you have Jasprit Bumrah, world's best fast bowler across formats. He, any day of the week, you start with him. I don't know why he didn't start with him. He allowed he allowed Tom Latham, and Tom Latham has been struggling against Bumrah in the series. He allowed Tom Latham to settle. Now compare that to Latham's captaincy, especially the way I'm taking just one example, Sarfraz, the way he blocked his sweep yesterday. He forced him to go on the offside and play a false shot because his run scoring area was blocked. That was absolutely fantastic captaincy. So far in the series, Tom Latham has schooled Rohit as far as captaincy is concerned.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And some questions that I want to take here. Freaking awesome. Playing like an ODI is not a bad idea. On a spin-friendly condition, spinners may gain more strength and can play some unplayable deliveries if we don't attack them time to time. Bharat, what do you think about this?
Yeah, the same point I will tell. I'm very much fine with how Jaiswal has played, the aggressive intent, but they've got a great start. Now perhaps the India can look to slow down the game a little bit, maybe slow the pace of the innings a little bit, try to build a partnership and get closer to New Zealand's target. The key is to change gears. If you play in one gear right through the innings, then it could cause the downfall of a batter. So it comes down to changing gears as per the situation and trying to inch closer to the target. But I have no issues with a batter playing in that fashion, especially in modern times, considering how modern day batters play and considering this is a DRS era. It's not easy to defend in this DRS era. People keep bringing up Pujara. Always remember he used to use the pad a lot. One of the reasons why his batting average declined was because of the DRS coming into play, and a lot of times he was getting out LBW at the back end of his Test career. So it's not that easy to defend with DRS around, with umpires ready to give a lot more LBWs. So from that sense, it's fine if you attack, but just change the gears a little bit so that you can pace the innings much better.
Another question here is Rohit Sharma deserving of a place in the Test team considering his constant poor form? Should he be dropped? The team needs to be picked on merit rather than favoritism or past reputation. Uh, Quite a harsh question, Shomik. What would you like to say to this?
I think it is a yes. The question is a little harsh, but I understand the frustrations of the fans. And Rohit has been scoring runs. See, the Australia tour is going to be defining for a lot of players. Um, uh, I still expect Rohit to bounce back. The final test is in Bombay, his home patch, and I hope he gets back into the groove because we need Rohit in top fettle in Australia. If he fails in Australia, then such questions then such questions will gain momentum because Australia is a marquee series, and you are going to that series under serious pressure. If India lose a home series to New Zealand, they would be under big pressure. So it would be imperative for Rohit to lead from the front. So if I still back him to get into his run scoring group on his own patch at Wankhede. But if he fails there and if he fails in Australia also, then definitely his questions regarding his place in the team should be discussed. I mean, should be raised.
Yes, Ninja
Yes.
Bumba.
Ninja Bomba.
That's a funny name over there. Washington Sundar should come ahead of Sarfaraz in case we need a cameo in third session. Do you really think India can chase this target after watching their first innings batting, Bharat?
Yeah, the start is great. So India at least have some hope now. If it was for 81 for 4 at the lunch session, then there's no real hope of chasing down the target. When you chase a target of trying to chase a target of around 350, 400, then you definitely need a good start. Yes, India have lost a wicket, but that is fine. They're at least around 100 runs for the loss of just one wicket. So India have a little more hope now, but the chances are still less. You would fancy the New Zealand side to win from here because it's still a turning track. By day three, it is now a turning track, but India definitely have a little more hope. As far as Sundar ahead of Sarfraz, see, the only way he can come ahead of Sarfraz is because if India want a left-handed batter somewhere to disrupt the left arm, to disrupt a little bit, to disrupt the spinner's length, especially against a couple of left-arm spinners. But otherwise, I think India will stick to Sarfraz. He's a good player of spin. Yeah, obviously in the Ranchi test, England blocked these areas, scoring areas, and New Zealand have done that in the first innings here. So that is something the Sarfraz has to think about when he goes out to bat, when he gets a chance to bat. But obviously, India, I think, will back Sarfraz to come ahead of Washington Sundar. Though Washington Sundar is definitely not a number 9 batter. That I would say he can definitely look to. India can definitely look at Washington Sundar at number 8 or around that position ahead of Ashwin.
Shomik, there's another question here by Nobita. He's saying if India are to chase this target, they should chase within 80 overs. If it gets beyond 80, then it will be impossible. Why will it be impossible? What do you think?
What do you think?
There is some merit to this logic. There is some merit to this logic. I mean, and if India to chase this target, they will chase it down in 80, 82, 83 overs, I guess, because they are not going. They are not going for a long haul. Their batting approach is not for a long haul. These players don't have the defensive technique to play a long game, and it's absolutely fine. If you are backing your strengths, there is no harm in that. So if you are comfortable playing that way, that's fine. Um, but the problem is, see, on such pitches, what happens if one wicket falls, then uncertainty creeps in. Suddenly, if a ball does something drastic, if the ball does something different, uncertainty creeps in. So that plays on the mind of the batsman. So that is an issue. That is an issue that will be there in the mind of the batsman. So it's very very important. If you are getting your iron, you try to stretch your innings. Not easy, easier said than done. Given that the nature of the pitch, you can anytime you can get an unplayable delivery, you can get a grubber, or you can get someone that will turn and jump deliciously. But the thing is that on this wicket, if you are settled out there, you try to stretch your innings as long as possible.
Absolutely. Let's take the
Absolutely.
final
Let's
few
take
questions.
the final few questions.
Just a second, echo there. Yeah, let's take the final few questions from our comment section here. Um, okay, freaking awesome is saying if you watch Washington's batting closely, usually it takes time to settle. That's why his batting style doesn't suit in T20 eyes. Okay, all right. Uh, Tuhin Acharya is saying, I think to win the test match from here, next session is very crucial. If India don't lose any wickets in the next session, then what will be the chances for India to win? Then India's winning, right, Bharat?
Yeah, obviously, if you ask me from an Indian perspective, I would say India is hopefully winning. But this is difficult from here. Yeah, if they get to say 180 or 190 for two, chasing 359, I think India have a chance. They need to score another 100 runs for the loss of maybe one wicket. Then definitely they will create some panic in the New Zealand camp. And I saw Mitchell Santner was holding his side, so maybe it's a little bit of side strain problem. I'm just guessing, looking at it from TV. So maybe a few things going India's way from that sense, but still a long way away. India need to be 200 for two or three, chasing 359. Then definitely they will create some panic in that New Zealand lineup.
Right, and with that,
Yeah, Gargi, just before we sign off, this question is interesting. That second session question, because before lunch, what happened? India came out to bat for the fourth innings, and they used the roller. The effect of the roller was there when they batted um, pre-lunch. Now, as the game progresses, that will wear thin, and the pitch might start behaving a little differently. So, second session is going to be very tricky and important.
absolutely.
Absolutely.
So, like we all said, I'm just repeating that the next session is very, very crucial for India to win this test match. But we'll be back at the end of the game as well, at the end of the day. So don't forget to tune in then. And in the meanwhile, don't forget